Shrimed Bhagavad GIta, chapter 6, verse number 26. Yata yata nishcharati manah chanchalam asthiram tatasto tata tataha niyamya etat atmani eva vasham nayeta. Had it not been the contribution of Adi Guru Shankaracharya, Shrimad Bhagavad Gita might have taken centuries more to surface from the voluminous compilation of 100,000 verses of Mahabharata. It was the direct contribution of Adi Guru Shankaracharya, who out of his divine wisdom was able to extricate these 700 intact compilation out of those 100,000 verses and bequeathed it as an endowment before the generations to come. Adi Guru Shankaracharya was also able to write his own commentary upon each and every single verse of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. And the light of his commentary pervades and prevails into and through all great masters who have interpreted Bhagavad Gita since then. This particular verse of chapter number 6, the verse number 26, needs a direct attribution from his commentary. We are talking about the yoga of meditation. We are talking about the prerequisite that need to be established, grounded before one could meaningfully, purposefully meditate. Now, a subject has been raised which is true and a fact amidst each and every individual on this planet, irrespective of religion. And the fact is that the constitution of a human mind, as programmed by the nature, has an innate flaw. Although the nature has not constituted the mind to serve any flaw, but yet it is considered as a flaw when someone has to take over a serious and sincere effort upon any pursuit. The nature of the mind is it wants newness. Every moment it wants some newness. We call it is always in the state of flux. Actually, the state of flux could be easily defined as seeking newness. And in its pursuit to seek newness, it automatically becomes unstable. Therefore, it is a mention in the verse, in the first line of the verse, Chanchalam Asthiram. Chanchalam wants to shift every second on something else, and therefore it is unstable. A mind which will never stay with the subject and shall remain unstable. The mind becomes unstable because it does not stay with one subject. It doesn't mean that it does not flow through the story of a subject. Let me take a small illustration. When you're watching a movie, indeed you are focused. Your mind, your attention, your awareness is absolutely directed and assigned to the movie that you watch. You cannot say that while watching a movie of great interest to you, you were not focused. No, you were absolutely focused. But you were actually under the sway, under the direct impel of the conduct of the mind, which wants to get involved, which seeks indulgence, and that indulgence could be even dynamic. Dynamic means flowing through the story. You can never say that I witnessed one particular scene and I paused that scene in the movie, and for next 2 hours I was just confined to that scene, which was like a picture screen shot before me. No, you will never say that. Your mind wants to be involved. It wants to be involved even dynamically. It can float through the story. And it is floating through the story because story itself is unraveling some newness by every passing moment. Something that is being transpired within the story makes the mind sever the newness it is seeking, it craves for. Now, when the mind is seeking something new every moment, which is generally served through a story, whether that story is picturized in the form of an imagination within the mind, or whether that story is picturized or it is displayed with the open eyes, whatever it may be, mind seeks indulgence. Adiguru Shankaracharya, while deliberating and commenting upon this particular verse, has gone a step beyond Adiguru Muni Vedvyas. Adiguru Muni Vedvyas made a very simple mention. Mind is born with the nature to enter into flux, seek newness, and therefore it is unstable. And to regulate and control the mind, you should be able to exercise your will, upon the mind, which it says through tata tata niyamya etat atmani e vasham nayat. Exercise your will upon that mind to bring it back upon your true self, because self-realization is the prime objective of any spiritual pursuit. It makes a mention and he moves further. Adiguru Shankaracharya comes down to the practical aspect of the same understanding in the parlance of a common mind, which has no control except that it becomes vulnerable and a prey, prey, to the ongoings and happenings and occurrences within the mind, by the mind. Adiguru Shankaracharya makes a point, whenever and wherever, whenever is always there, but wherever, your mind deflects, your mind distracts, your mind reaches out to any subject. For example, you saw a program upon an upcoming SUV and you were able to watch that clip in YouTube. Some automobile expert was able to deliberate and give an exposition on the upcoming that SUV, and you were appalled by that. You want to now possess it, irrespective. The mind does not go into the rationale of it, irrespective that it is affordable or not. Mind is entangled. Next day morning, you are now on the session of your sadhana, sitting at your upasana sthali or the altar, puja altar. You sit down there with all sincerity, you close your eyes. Whatever you do as a part of your own inner contemplation, whether it is focusing and manifesting light within or starting that incantation, japa within, whatever you do. The moment you start that, your attention is immediately distracted and hijacked by that SUV video clip. Now, first of all, that SUV surfaces before you. It is needless to say, but yet to make a mention, it may be because mind has got diverse aspects to experience. It might be that you recall that entire clip that you witnessed, you undergo an experience of that same clip once again, or mind may involve you even further by making you experience the comfort, the luxury, the thrill of driving that SUV. Might may even exceed further that you possess it and you're moving into that by gathering certain recognition before the people that you are placed into. That means people who are in your circle, you're moving with that SUV, and those people are watching you. You're trying to search in their eyes the esteem that you seem to be, you consider to have enhanced by possessing that SUV. Whatever it may be, mind can explore countless methods and manners to engross, indulge, and involve, immerse into the subjects of its choice. It could be anything. Adiguru Shankaracharya gives a way out, a remedy. He says that wherever it happens with you, go and focus upon the basis of the subject that has withdrawn, distracted, or deflected your attention from what you were actually supposed to do. Now, that supposed to do could be a matter of your own sadhana, your spiritual engagement, or it could be even the pursuit that you do in your own professional lives. Distraction could be not confined to even only to spiritual exercises. Distraction is equally there in the form of shifting priorities when we are supposed to be confined to one objective in our professional streams. Adiguru Shankaracharya says, go and focus upon the basis of that subject that withdraws you, that distracts you. What does it mean? It will be easy for us to understand the same fact through an illustration. Actually, he is conveying, if you are watching a movie, now it's through the illustration, you're watching a movie. The moment you start to watch any movie, there is a screen that appears, and the first thing that you're able to see, generally, not always, generally, is the title of the movie or the production house that has released the movie. Anything, either of them could be there. And then the casting, etc. start. For example, the moment you are watching that movie, that slide appears where the production house name, its logo, or the name of the movie comes. You press the button, space button, that is, you're watching on a laptop or a computer, pause it. What happens? Your screen becomes stationary. The movie is not able to further. Animation part has been halted. Now, only thing that you can see at the moment is no sound, nothing moving, just that screen displaying either the name and logo of the production house or the title of the movie. What will be the state of your mind? Mind will cease to have any interest on the screen anymore. Why? Because mind is seeking engrossment. Mind was seeking indulgence. Mind was seeking a newness which has been paused. You would certainly try, by the application of your intellect and experience, to see if the movie can be played, if you can run the stream on. By any chance, if there is a technical fault, mind will become restless immediately owing to its own intrinsic nature, the innate fault it has got to seek newness. It will say, no, not anymore. Shut down the laptop, shut down the computer, let me explore something different. Adiguru Shankaracharya says, wherever that any subject comes to withdraw, comes to deflect or distract your attention, don't move with that subject, because mind will always seek a movement with it in the form of a story. As I deliberated a while ago, that mind deploy through imagination, through a relation, but would like to witness something ongoing within yourself. With any subject, whether it's about acquiring a state, that means if you wish to be a politician, you win elections, You wish to be an entrepreneur of high esteem in the country. You wish to have someone in relationship, whatever it may be. Countless subjects in life. Any subject that comes, mind wants to flow with it. With some relation, it wants the story to unfold. According to Adiguru Shankaracharya, if you seize there itself and just start witnessing within the subject itself. For example, if it is SUV, you just see the SUV. Not go any further. Not recall anything that you witnessed as the expert's view. Not trying to get into the engrossment of any imagination. Seeking some inner gratification without any basis. Stop there. Just watch that SUV. What will happen? Immediately the mind will lose its interest and shall seek to disassociate from there. That moment you can easily withdraw the mind. Withdraw the mind and then focus it wherever you want it to. Exercise by the exercise of a will. Is that easy? Not very difficult, yes. But what is the difficult part is that you cannot abstain the mind to not to go again with any new deflect. It is going to get distracted maybe next moment towards a new subject. Seeking newness, is its inherent, innate programming. So it might go there. That's why Adiguru Shankaracharya and Adiguru Munu Vidya say, how many times it may take, doesn't matter. It may happen so that you are exercising this control upon the mind to withdraw it back. But first of all, allow it to simply focus on the subject, not flow with the subject, not prevail with the subject, but stay with the subject. If it is a dress, you love a dress, you want to have the dress, don't let imagination flow with the dress. Just watch the dress. Immediately you will disassociate and come back. Exercise your will. The moment you feel disassociation, exercise your will and come back. Treat your mind like a small infant of 6 months. Placed on a bed, it will have a seeking to toddle and maybe fall down. So what do you do as a mature person who is as a custodian, as a guardian of the child? You will ensure that child may toddle to any length but shall not be allowed to fall from the bed so that it does not get hurt. So every time the child is nearing, is approximating the edge of the bed, you immediately pounce upon it and you bring it back to the middle of the bed. Child would not abstain to go again. It will again charter the same courage, the same drive, and you too will also not experience any abstention. You would control the child the same way. Till the moment the child grows to an age where it understands that if I don't consider the edge of the bed, inconsiderate of that, I might fall. Now, the same thing has to be experienced, exercised within yourself. Considering your mind as a child of 6 months who is unknown about the perils of falling down, and therefore someone has to exercise the will. The only difference between the example I gave and here within yourself is that here you allow yourself to focus on the subject that distracts you. Focus, not float with the subject. There is a difference between floating with the subject and then focusing on the subject. By focusing on the subject, mind would lose its interest because it seeks newness. As I gave you an example of watching a movie, if you pause the button, you cannot confine to one screen. This is frozen. Nobody wants to stay for 2 hours with a frozen screen. You want the story to unfold. You want the activity, life to happen there. If it becomes dead, no, the mind would lose its interest. Mind is moving. By the consumption of the pranic energy, it wants to dance, although it owes its activity to the prana within. But yet, Prana is just a fuel. Actual intention of the mind floats independently. Here you have to ask the mind to retain its ambit to mere focusing on the subject, not floating with the subject. Once you try this, you'll feel that even if you contemplate, if you sit for a meditative session for about 15 minutes, initially maybe you struggle within yourself, and 15 to 20 times you have to withdraw yourself back. And you don't experience that kind of joy which generally people expect from while experiencing these kind of meditative sessions. Even in meditation sessions where we feel that we had a lot of joy, actually it was engrossment of the mind. When mind is engrossed, it shall always lose the sense of the time. The sense of the time is at highest levels when the mind is not involved. When the mind is on its own, the sense of the time, it exaggerates. And these are the moments when you say, I was not able to spend moments. Even 3 minutes appeared to me like 3 years because the mind was not involved. And when the mind is involved, it's engrossed, then even 3 hours or even 6 hours, you'll say, time just flied. I could not realize the 3 hours had gone. I was so involved into that. So therefore, initially you will have to slog and struggle. And that's all about sadhana. What is sadhana? It is to slog and struggle through. Because your inner world is not programmed to that kind of a conduct. It has to be tamed into a new understanding, a new behavior, a new norm, and you have to struggle. It takes a lot of struggle to lay down railway lines, railway tracks, to make new roads. You have to experience struggle. So likewise, here also, it may happen, as I said, I'll reiterate it, for 15 minutes, you may have lot of fighting infighting going on. 15 to 20 times you have to go pounce on the mind, make it stationary, and then withdraw it back, and again it aspires to go for some other newness. It has no limit for subjects to wander. It has plentiful of them to wander. But gradually what happens, if you go on doing the same, after about 2 to 3 months, the number of distractive movements, the number of those movements will reduce, deplete. Maybe in 15 minutes, you would go and wander for about 10 times. Maybe within 15 minutes, you go and wander for 5 times. But to come down from 5 to 0 might take you with all serious efforts. I'm calling it from experience. With all serious efforts, it might take you even a year. Even a year is less. And let me also remind you, if you feel that once you spend 1 year in a sincere sadhana with all seriousness, and after that you leave your sadhana for another about 6 months, what is going to happen? You will again come back to the same point where you started from. You started where from? Wherever you started from, you'll come back to the same thing. Because mind will again get adapt to its previous nature, which it is naturally bestowed with. So it has to be a continuous effort if you really want to alleviate from its nature and elevate towards evolution. It has to be a constant, continuous effort. And for that, it is called Abhyas and Vairagya. Keep practicing with all focus, with all sincerity. Vairagya means all sincere focus, all efforts that sincerely make you focus. You have to instill them within and keep moving. So this particular shloka has got enough of Adiguru Shankaracharya within itself when it comes to deliberate on it. More to come in the next classroom upon the next verse of the chapter number 6. Till then, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om.